up? Okay, so welcome to the live deck build, guys. What I'm going to be doing is Kamiz Obscura Oculus. It's one of the new Capenna commanders that have come out, actually in the PreCon. So what we're going to do is we are going to completely from scratch build a deck that's going to be very focused on what Kamiz actually wants to do. I do apologize for getting on a little bit late. I was playing some Smite with the fam, and then I had to go put my daughter down to go to sleep. So, but in any case, we're here now, and I don't know how long this one's going to take. Last time we did that live deck build, it took about 3 hours, so we'll see if I can beat that time. Also, you might hear some background, because my wife is still playing some Smite. So, if you hear some raging going on through some headphones, that's probably what it is. And, let's get started here. So, let's move to the deck build display here. Okay, so we've...
I cannot hear what you guys are saying. Oh my gosh, Logan.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
You know.
Yeah, told you. Alright, so...
Yeah, you turned off this.
We are going to be...
You're so dumb.
Let's see, Kamiz Obscura Oculus. We've got one, a white, a blue, and a black for a 2/4 Cephaloid Rogue. And whenever you attack, target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. It connives. Then choose another attacking creature with lesser power. That creature gains double strike until end of turn. So, really what it looks like is we want to get creatures that can take advantage of the fact that Kamiz can make them unblockable. So I feel like, especially since we're in blue, we're going to be adding some creatures in here that whenever they do combat damage to a player, we draw a card, right? And then it says we can choose another attacking creature, and that creature gains double strike. So potentially we can choose our commander to do that, and by making, maybe what we do is we make our commander big enough to where we come in with commander damage, or we just have some creature, just some bigger creatures, maybe in black, because black has some pretty big creatures sometimes. Not as big as green often, but they'll still have some big ones. So, alright. And then the connives is a mechanic that's specific to these colors, which is actually kind of great. So whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we draw a card, then discard a card, and then put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. So every time we're gaining value, we're actually making those creatures bigger and bigger. Maybe that's what we do. We have like a set of value creatures, and then we have some just really big creatures that we really smash in with the double strike. Or maybe we can even go the infect route. We make our infectors unblockable, and then we kill them out with infect. Actually, that's probably what we do. We put some infectors in here and make them unblockable. And that's probably going to sound rude to a lot of you out there, but that's what we're going to do. So... Alright, so first what I want to do, I think, is I want to go, since we're in the brainstorm phase, I'm just going to get a whole bunch of cards that say connive on it. Because we do want to put as many instances of that make sense as possible. Alright. Hypnotic Grifter. Change of Plans. I think Change of Plans is a good protection card. We'll put that in the sideboard for now. Illuminator Virtuoso might be a good idea. We'll see. Yeah, it's okay. This feels like a cantrippy one. It's a cantrippy creature that connives. I don't know. Okay, so this one's an aura that does pretty much exactly what we want. It makes the creature... But the creature has to be attacking alone, so we do have to be careful of that. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it connives. Mask of the Schemer actually comes in the PreCon. We're probably going to keep that one. We will put Security Bypass in here too, just... Yeah, this is another one that we... as it enters the battlefield, it connives, but it's 3 mana. I don't feel like that's really effective enough for commander, or well, it's not efficient. There, I should say it that way. It's not as efficient. Okay, when it dies, say Raffine, Scheming Seer. Yeah, we want to put him in there. The Sphinx Demon. I would put the Sphinx Demon in there anyway, just because it's cool. Um, yeah, flying ward 1, so meaning that if they were to target it, they have to pay an additional 1 mana in order to actually target it, otherwise it's countered. And then whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets connive X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. So that's potentially drawing you a bunch of cards at once. To lose, Clever Conductor. When it enters the battlefield, it connives, and then when you discard one or more cards, you exile them. Then when it dies with the exiles, and just feels like a bunch of hoops. I don't really want to jump through all that. I mean, I guess it allows you to reuse it, so there is that, but I feel like there's better ways in our colors to do that. Body Launderer. Death Touch, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, Body Launderer connives. When Body Launderer dies, return another target non-rogue creature card with equal to or lesser power from the graveyard to the battlefield. This one's actually kind of cool. I like that as a recursion piece. This one actually has connive on it, but that doesn't actually do the keyword connive. Yeah, that's 4 mana to do that. No, that's our commander. Lethal Scheme. Lethal Scheme seems actually like a good idea as a removal piece. That kind of one of the removal pieces that goes with the theme. That could be our one that's not super efficient, but still kind of does what the deck wants to do. Obscura Confluence. This one actually does come in the Commander PreCon. For 4 mana, we can have potentially 3 connives. And it does some other stuff too. That's pretty decent. Target player returns a creature card from their graveyard to their hand, so more than likely you. Until end of turn, target creature loses all abilities and has base power toughness 1. Yeah, I think that's worth it. I would put that in there. Oops. Put that in there. Obscura Interceptor, when it enters the battlefield, connives. It has flash and lifelink. That's kind of cool. When it connives this way, return up to 1 target spell to its owner's hand. Okay, so it's like...
No, I cannot.
It's like a counter spell, but not really. It's the... Okay. Revel Ruiner. Revel Ruiner. Menace, and then it has connives. And then Psychic Pickpocket. When it enters the battlefield, it connives. When it connives this way, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to an owner's hand. So, again, this is another one that just feels inefficient for what we're trying to do. So, now while the thing is that we don't have a ton of cards that actually connive in here necessarily, we have other ways that kind of supplement. So we can still work around it a little bit. Alright. I think to start though, we found at least a whole bunch of stuff that say connive. And now what we're going to do is we're going to search for infect creatures that are in our colors: white, blue, black, and colorless only. Inkmoth Nexus. Yeah, I'm not going to add that, even though that is a good one to add. I'm not going to add that. Okay. Put that down for now. Tainted Strike is a good one. Can be, anyways. Vector Asp. Yeah, here we go. Blooded Agent. It's unblockable already, and it has Infect. So we want to give that guy double strike. Flincermite. Might not be a bad idea. Lost Leonin. Just a 2/1 Infector, huh? Interesting. Whenever it becomes blocked, it gets +2/+2 the own turn. Well, that's ironic. We're not actually trying to make things blocked, so I don't know. Necropede. Necropede seems seems okay. Plague Mirror. Plague Mirror can be one of our mana dorks. That actually would be perfect. Plague Stinger. See, like, in another deck that I have that actually has Infect, I do care about if it has flying or has some form of evasion, but in this particular case, our commander can give evasion to our infecting creatures, so we actually don't... We just want it to be... We want it to be very mana efficient. We don't really care necessarily what it has. So we'll put Plague Stinger there. We'll put Necropede in there. Why not? They're 2 mana. Ichor Claw Mirror, yeah. Ichor Rats. Each player gets a poison counter.
Who's got who?
Phyrexian Crusader. Protection from red and white. Kind of makes it a problem if we're trying to make Phyrexian Crusader unblockable. But then again, the protection from red and white does give us some.
A telescope, it goes...
Let me see. Okay,
All
Core
right,
Prowler.
So what you're telling me is that their bathroom is out in space.
Don't pay any attention to the conversation that's happening right next to me, because it's not going to make any sense to me either.
That, to use a telescope, that means that their bathroom is like out in space. There's some crazy distance.
Corpse Curve, so whenever... So this could be a recursion card, sort of, I guess. It's 4 mana. I don't know if I want to go that heavy. I don't know if I want to go that heavy into the infect there. Where we could probably do the Viral Drake, because at least that gives us a proliferate. That's a mana sink there. Chain Throatseeker.
Oh yeah.
Chain Throatseeker can't attack unless defending player is poisoned. Okay,
Ooh,
well.
Share some with me. I was gonna say.
Blightsteel. I'm trying to keep this relatively budget. I would love to put a Blightsteel in here, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Not for this build. I think we can get away with doing some smaller creatures. Whenever a source deals damage to Reaper of Sheodrid, that source's controller gets a poison counter. Yeah, that doesn't really instill infection. Okay, no, it's not. Grafted Exoskeleton. Okay, haste. Hasty boy. Okay, so I think we've got a pretty solid thing here with our creatures. Or at least there are the ones that we like to have infect for now. Alright, so let's go. Let's do land. Land. What do we need for land? Well, obviously we want to put the Obscura Raffine's Tower. So we're going to do that for sure. Raffine's Tower, Command Tower.
I was gonna say, kayaking? What? With a baby?
All cards. Okay. You like cake? I like cake too. What's your favorite flavor for the audience? I think I know what it is, but... let's see. Let's see, Command Tower, Exotic Orchard. We got Exotic Orchard, just an easy include, right? One of our opponents is going to have one of our colors, more than likely. So that's an easy include. Let's do... We're not really rogue tribal. We could do like a ninjutsu thing later. I'm just brainstorming stuff right now. But I think let's just get the lands figured out first. Yeah, let's get the land and the ramp figured out first, and then we'll go into what extras we can do. Okay. So land. Got Command Tower, Raffine's Tower. Oh yeah, we need to Arcane Sanctum. Yeah, because that, even though it enters tapped, it still gets us all of our colors. That's a good one. Okay. Then let's do I'm trying to think of another good one that can tap for all of our colors. Let's see. Let's do type land. Produces any blue, white, or black. Well, actually, let's just go with any first. That way we're not having to sift through all of that. That's just a lot of land to sift through. Okay, so Okay, Cavern of Souls, yeah, but I mean, we're not really a tribal deck.
I'm thinking.
Exotic Orchard, we already have. Forbidden Orchard, I
Hi,
do
Sam.
I do have a deck that I wanted to put Forbidden Orchard into, but not this one. Glimmer Void. Glimmer Void I think would be great in an artifact deck, but I don't. Even though this deck probably would have a lot of artifacts in it just innately because of the ramp, I don't think we're going to be doing that. Mana Confluence wouldn't be a bad one, but that's a $40 land now. Fun. So
We have 3 mages right
trying to keep to a somewhat of a budget. Path of Ancestry. Path of Ancestry wouldn't be a bad idea.
now. Why did you go?
Again, this is going to help more so if we have more rogues or celiphids, but at the same time, it still gives us a mana of any color that we want. We only get the scry trigger if it's a creature that shares a type with it.
No, it's still open. Okay, good.
Reflecting Pool. We could do Reflecting Pool, but Reflecting Pool is another one that's not a budget land. Ristic Cave. Ristic Cave is very easy to disrupt, so I'm not going to do it. Cake is good. Yeah, well, I mean, it is. Can be.
Oh,
Not all cake.
Decided to have a day for herself. So I gave her Saturday for her day, and now we're gonna make a cake, or as she calls it, a birthday cake.
Spire of
Yeah.
Industry.
It's really cute.
So Spire of Industry might be okay. Yeah, actually, Spire of Industry might be decent because we are going to have a lot of artifact ramp in this deck
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, she keeps saying Mommy's
So it
something 'cause
might
her
not
birthday
be a
was
bad
on
idea
Saturday, so she was
to
like,
actually put Spire of Industry in here. So let's do that.
thank
If
you.
nothing else, it's a colorless land, but then it's still untapped.
Hey,
And then when we have an artifact, we can pay a life if we really need the colored mana.
It's hard to explain to her.
I think that's decent, and it's only $1.85. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I think we got 5 lands that give us any color. That's decent. That's actually pretty decent. All right, now let's do search.
Oh, now you're gonna.
Library.
Well, they do have Discordia. Discordia can do a lot of damage.
Okay. So now maybe it's just because I'm OCD, right? But I like to get lands that fetch lands that stay within the colors.
Isn't that why she came all the way over there?
I don't like to get the fetch lands that necessarily go outside of it, though I will from time to time if I feel that it's necessary. So, if, like, for example, Rocky Tar Pit, even though I would hate to actually put Rocky Tar Pit in there, I could, because it would only get me a swamp out of the Swamp or Mountain, but it doesn't actually go against our commander's color identity, because it doesn't actually produce that mana. It just searches for a land that has that type on it.
Oh man. I accidentally
feel like I'm missing, yeah, like, there should be, okay, there we go. I must have started in the middle somewhere. Okay, so Panorama we could probably do, because at least it gets us 2 out of the 3. Bad River, obviously we want to put that in there, because that gets us a Swamp or an Island card, not a basic. Then
y'all need to stop dying.
Esper Panorama, because that's all of our colors, so we definitely want to put that in there. And then Floodplain. Floodplain we could, yeah, here we go. Floodplain, we're good. So we've got 4 right now. Let's see. I could probably do Grixis Panorama. That would be good, because that could give us the basic for black and blue. And that's decent. We're not going to have a black-white tapped fetch land, unfortunately, but I mean, that's just the way it is. But we've got 5, so we've got 5 that give us our colors. We've got 5 fetches, budget fetches, but still, that's decent. That's a good start to our land base here. Now, because these ones are not that hard to get. I think I'm going to include them.
I thought at first you were gonna say
They've been
button,
reprinted a
and I was
few
like, what?
times, even though they are more expensive. They're still definitely
Belly
worth
button.
getting, so I'm gonna get it.
Oh.
I'm gonna put it in here. Type
Crayola.
land. Okay, we're definitely gonna put Prairie Stream in here. Let's do all cards. There we go. Okay. Yep. We got Hollowed Fountain. That's the one. That's non-budget. You can, but it's. I mean, still, you can find one for $13, and probably you could even look at some other places. Probably get it for 11. 4-leaf one obviously is going to be more expensive, but you get a regular one. It's not terrible. It's definitely worth it to get that. Then we go Prairie Stream. Prairie Stream is Prairie Stream comes in the deck anyway, so you wouldn't have any problem getting that. And then we got Island Swamp. Swamp. Okay. There we go. Watery Grave. Watery Grave is 16 for that particular version. Huh. Yeah, that one's 27. This one looks like the return. This is. I think that's Return to Ravnica? Because that. Yeah, that one's the. That one's the special version.
Yes.
That one's like, that secret layer that they had that came out last year at some point. So, and then this one's Gate Crash. So I'm pretty sure this one's Return to Ravnica. They have more iterations, but apparently not here. But yeah, it looks like Watery Grave, $16. It's not terrible. Honestly, most of them come out to be about $15 anyway. So we'll do that. And then we have another one, Sunken Hollow. Sunken Hollow we're going to include. Sunken Hollow is, yeah, is $1. Might as well. Okay. Then we're going to get the Plains Swamp. Godless Shrine. Godless Shrine, yeah, $14. That's, yeah, like we said, they usually come around $15 each anyway. Some, more or less. And then we don't have one, unfortunate, like they said, we don't have like a cycle that's kind of like Prairie Stream and Sunken Hollow. But what they do have is the snow tap lands that come out of Kaldheim, and because it has the super type on it, or the land subtype, excuse me, that's not terrible. We can get away with doing that. And I mean it's 50 cents basically. I mean that's easy enough. And we can pull that from our library to fix our colors. So I think that's pretty decent right there. So we've got our all colors, our things here. Now we can, from this point, we could probably just like fill the rest up with basics. From this point we could probably fill the rest up with basics and be fine, but I don't really want to do that. I would much rather have thing like lands that actually kind of help our strategy a little bit. The only problem is I don't think we're at a point yet where we know exactly what we want for our strategy here.
Well, bad.
So let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do, because this might actually help me get some ideas here. So I'm going to do land, and then I'm going to go to set. And we're going to do new Capenna Commander.
No.
Alright, so we've got Nesting Grounds, Path of Ancestry, Port Town, Prairie Stream, we already got that one, Rogue's Passage. I mean, we don't want our creatures to be blocked, so at least there is that. Yeah, that doesn't, Sungrouse Prairie, no. We do, oh yeah, we got these, the temples. Temples are not bad. I don't think we want to add them in this particular deck, though. The Vivids. Vivids aren't bad. This really... Okay. Yeah.
Wait, stay in
Castle.
the ice. Nice.
See, Creeping Tar Pit. Let's see. Creeping Tar Pit can't be blocked. Oh, that's an interesting idea. We do the man lands and make them unblockable so they can connive. That's actually not a bad idea. Just to have an extra utility of some sort. And he's a 3/2 black and blue. And that one already can't be blocked. So then when we can put double strike on him.
If I survive, I'm going to teleport away.
Ooh, he just won't be able to. He just wouldn't connive if we put the double strike on him. But still, like that's awesome. Like we can do 6 damage with a land. Yeah, actually, let's do that. Let's just as an extra utility. Now these ones will come in intertapped, but you know, we'll after this point we probably won't really worry about that. So we'll put Creeping Tar Pit in here. And then we get to the rest of it. Okay, cool. So, see, let's do enters, tapped, and then becomes creature. And there we go. So, all cards.
Oh, wow, I've been disconnected for a hot minute.
Celestial Colonnade. Yeah, blue, white, flying and vigilance. That's awesome. And it's a 4/4, so it's bigger. And then we need a black, white one. I'm sure they have one for each of the 2 color pairings. I just don't remember all their names.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, Raging Ravine, Shambling Vent. Here we go. Yeah, that's what we need. Shambling Vent. There we go. Got some man lands. 2/3 with lifelink until end of turn. Cool. Alright.
Not entirely sure how I made that happen, but it worked. Go get it.
Yeah, if you control 2 or more other lands, yeah, that one just doesn't... Like, initially it sounded kind of cool because we get a 3/4 white dragon, but... Yeah, if we control 2 or more other lands, which we're more than likely going to have in a game of Commander, I mean... Yeah, it just doesn't... I don't really want our lands to enter tapped as much as possible, if we can help it. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. I mean, it's the same thing for each of these. Okay. Well, yeah, we're not in those colors, but that is one of the man lands that we got, the dual man lands that we got here. Okay, that's actually, I think that's pretty solid. And now we've got 19 lands, which means we'll have 11 basics, and 11 basics isn't bad for a spread. So, yeah, that's alright.
I mean, you can once you die.
Most important color we're going to have is blue. We're just going to do Streets of New Capenna, and we're going to do type basic land. And for funsies, we're going to put in the
you were like in the
full arts. Here we go. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3. And then planes. 1, 2, 3.
Remember that TikTok with the girl?
4. There we go. Okay. And then we can adjust the basic lands numbers as we get closer. Because, yeah, we're at 32. Yeah, we're at 32 lands. That's actually pretty decent. Actually, we probably might stay here for our land count. And then we're just going to make sure that we're going to have at least 14. We're going to have at least 14 ramp spells at this point. So, alright. First, right, as always, we're going to start with a Soul Ring. then Arcane Signet.
Go for it.
Arcane Signet. Then the talismans that are in our colors. And we need to do, let's see, produces. There we go. Produces black, white, and blue. Colorless only. There we go. That way we can sift out all the other ones. Okay, Talisman of Dominance. It's $6, but I mean, it's worth it. This one's $3. Yike! Talisman of Progress.
Don't tell me what to do.
That's crazy. There's only one printing of Talisman of Progress, and it's gone up. That's wild to me. It's $15 for that. Jeez, they really need to reprint that Talisman of Progress. Alright. Reset. And all cards. And Chromatic Lantern.
Nope. Where'd you get nuked from? Oh, you got thrown out of this world.
Alright, so let's see here. Chromatic Lantern. Okay, so we've got a decent amount of our artifacts.
Oh.
Artifact ramp here. We need to figure out.
Take it, just take it.
We need to figure out some other ramp that we need in here. We could do.
Oh wait, here. Oh crap.
We could do. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do?
I am so proud of myself right now.
Let's see.
I know.
Trying to figure. Let's see. Night. Let's do search library, because there are actually cards out there that search planes cards.
Dang. Oh, yeah. There's a. Oh, I have 4,000
that are not lands. So we need to actually set that to where we're not lands. Land. Or no. I just said not lands. Let's go with creatures to start. Aerial Surveyor would be interesting. Oh, now that's an interesting concept because we could crew it. But this only gets us a basic, so it's actually not that great. Never mind. That's not that good. Yeah, Boreas Charger needs to die in order for that to happen, or it needs to leave the battlefield, it says. So, I mean, we could blink it, blah, 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 but it just doesn't feel that great for what we're trying to do. Cartographer's Hawk feels like it could be good, but we would need to be able to give it haste, and at that point, like, that's just, it's just extra, man. Just feels extra. Night of the White Orchid is good. Enters the battlefield.
Oh wow.
Does the job.
I was gonna say, you're attacking the air and just like glitching back and forth.
What else? What else? What else? What else?
Oh, they have big minions.
Let's see, we got. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's not doing anything.
It's a basic planes card. Yeah, Cartographer's Hawk, at least when it deals combat damage to a player. Yeah, and it does, and that person has more lands, we could get a planes card and it straight up enters tapped. But you bounce Cartographer's Hawk back to your hand, so it just feels like a whole bunch of extra steps for no reason.
No.
I don't really want to go with a ton of artifact ramp because we need to have at least a little bit
just so you know. I still die, but not as much.
of ways to just to pull lands, and I mean, Core Cartographer does help us. I just don't like that it's 4 mana to do that. And especially since this deck doesn't do... Like, Core Cartographer is great, like, in my Sephiroth deck because
You should back up.
it actually wants to recur, and while we'll have access to recursion and reanimation in this deck, that's not necessarily the purpose of the deck in this particular case.
He thinks he's
Kamiz is not... He's more like an attacking, like getting around kind of commander, not really a value. He's a value through combat. There we go. That's what I'm trying to get at. He's value through combat. He's not like value through reanimation like our.
Well, he was doing it alone,
like our other one is. So, okay, let me see. Let's see.
That's true. Sure about that, Marlon?
Huh. Okay. Let's. Well, since we are doing it by attacking, let's do Sword of the Animist. Right, Sword of the Animist feels like kind of what we're trying to do here. Let's see, unique cards. No, all cards.
No, it should.
There we go.
Unless it's $10.
Yeah, and it's been reprinted. It's $10, and it's even been reprinted several times. I mean, it's not a bad card.
Oh, I don't know how.
But jeez.
I got that. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, we need Sword of the Animist is not bad though because then we can equip it and still.
Oh, okay. I didn't think that was gonna work.
Still get what we need here.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm doing it, so. I do.
Alright,
I am. Better now.
Give me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some bowls.
Give me just a moment. Okay, and we're back. So another one, and actually I didn't realize that this card was $10, almost 11. And this isn't bad actually. We can do Sword of Hearth and Home. Now it gives us protection from green and white, so we do need to be careful about the protection from white part because our commander is white. However, the fact that we can use it to attack,
did you explode?
It will give us.
I got my abilities confused.
Yeah, we can blink a creature that we own, so we can get potentially additional value from that creature, and then we can also get another basic land card, and then they both enter the battlefield under our control. It's a little bit more to cast than Sword of the Animist, but it might be something that we can still play off of here. Yeah, that version. Well, that version is more expensive, but yeah, that might not be a bad idea. And then, let's see here. Nope. Nope. Okay, so right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 9 ramp, and we need 14. So, alright, we need 5 more. We gotta think of 5 more, and hopefully not crazy expensive as far as mana. Well, I don't want to get too far up there with mana. Or 2, yeah, because we can't. Is there potential? Because one thing that you got to consider when you build ramp is, right, it's like you want to have creatures that have value and that do work with your commander, right? But you also want to be able to make sure that if you were to play it before your commander's out, can you quickly ramp to it, right? And so there are some creatures out there that, like, say, like I can bring them, and then when they attack, they create a treasure token, which would be great as an additional value piece, but not necessarily as a core ramp piece. And that's what the issue I'm having right now.
Oh yeah, we have 3 people that have 15 kills. Nice.
Yeah, the thing that I don't like about Sword of Hearth and Home and Obscura Oculus is that the Sword of Hearth and Home, being that it has protection from white, and Kamiz, it's whenever you attack, that's when the trigger happens. Is that you select it when it attacks rather than, like, you can select it before, like, pre-combat main phase and then equip it and then do the thing. I mean, I get it, but it is a little annoying. But we could perhaps do that on a creature that's already either unblockable, so that way we just get the land, or we put it on a creature that is that already has connives on it, so that way when it hits, then it can do the it can connive as well. So I don't know. Let me see.
That's awesome. I'm jealous. Can you guys share some of those things? Alright. I'm ready to catch him. Yeah, you're ready to.
Alright, search library basic. Let's colorless black. Here we go. Blue, white. Only.
Hey, like you guys.
And type is artifact creature. I guess we can do enchantment. Yeah, pretty much everything except for our land. This is what we're trying to go for here. Land tax. We're not going to find a budget version of land tax. Yeah, it's $37. That's not going to happen. Path to exile as an efficient removal. We might as well have this in our sideboard ready to go. Oh man, there's so many different versions. You'd think it'd be cheaper with how many times it's been reprinted, but I mean, it's a good card. It's got high demand. Wayfarer's Bubble. So Wayfarer's Bubble, I feel like it's okay, but I just don't like that when I play Wayfarer's Bubble, I don't feel like I actually ramp. I feel like it's always delayed, because effectively you pay 3 mana to search your library for a basic land card, and while that's fine in a non-green deck, I suppose, I'd almost rather have a creature like Sad Robot and just pay 4 mana as opposed to paying 3 mana to just pull a land out. So I don't know. That's just me. I mean, even our Miliary Sphere, it's 4 mana and you get 2 basic lands and you put them in your hand, and then you can play one of them. So I don't know. Moonsilver Key. This one can get an artifact card with a mana ability or a basic land, and that's effectively the same thing. And I do like that we can get an artifact with a basic land, but it still goes into your hand. Never mind. Yeah, I had forgotten about that. It doesn't go directly into the battlefield. It goes into your hand. So like, sure, we get a Chaomancer's map. Here we go. Now this one's good. Our Chaomancer's map, I feel like, is better in like a mono or a 2-color deck with white in it. Well, no, because the last part of it is whenever a land enters the battlefield under your opponent's control, if that player controls more lands than you can put a land card from your hand to the battlefield. So it doesn't matter. If you have a land, then that can go into your hand, and then it can go straight into the battlefield as long as they've played one. So maybe that's not so bad. Maybe that's alright. Even for 3 colors, it still might be okay. Yeah, no. You don't like that one. Yeah, and there's Sad Robot. We just talked about Sad Robot.
That's cute.
Yeah, and like 5 mana that you're not really ramping at that
Oh,
point.
I
If you
thought
gotta
that's what
spend
she
5
did.
mana to get more, like that's just extra.
Oh.
Let's see. Let's see.
Rude. I'm guessing they.
Oh yeah, well I almost forgot about Plague Mirror. Dang oh dang, over here struggling.
That's a little funny.
I forgot about Plague Mirror.
Oh,
Alright.
Very Mirror is not as good as Tay.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yes.
Still need 4 more
Bone Rush, Flourish.
ways here. I feel like Archaeomancer's map is decent. It just might not be exactly what we're looking for though. Because we've already got Chromatic Lantern and sort of Hearth and Home.
The greatest.
For 3, and then sort of Hearth and Home, Sword of the Animist, and Knight of the White Orchid can search our library for those lands.
You really want to do this? Oh. Oh crap! That missed.
So let's see. Search your library for it to X basic lands. Okay, I mean that's doesn't feel like that's what we want.
Yeah.
What about this? What is this? Search your library for basic lands and put it into your hand. Discard a card. Okay. Okay. No, I don't think that's what we want.
Thank you. Oh shit! That's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do. I fucked up. Well, I died.
So Ominous Parcel. Ominous Parcel feels a lot like. Oh no! It like it's.
Weird. I remember when you.
It's not even as good as Wayfarer's Bauble, like. Because it just puts it into your hand. And then, like, sure, you can do 4 damage to a creature, but, like, for 5 mana, like, that's not worth it. Not in my opinion. Yeah. This is a little bit rougher than I thought it was going to be. Not gonna lie. Color white, blue, black, colorless only. And then set commander. Just out of curiosity, let's see what other. Okay, obviously they put signets in here, but I don't want to put signets in here. So we got the talismans for. Commander Sphere. Eh. Midnight Clock. Midnight Clock wouldn't be terrible. But it only adds blue. But it does do the thing where once it gets to the 12th hour, we can shuffle our graveyard
Shit, I
back
keep
into
doing
our
that.
library.
Flipping forward instead of back. Like, whatever. I don't know what the point is for these.
No. Seriously? Like, oh, okay, that's why. I'm like, wait a minute. Alright, here we go. Let's try this again. Alright, here we go. We've got... I mean, we do have... Wayfarer's Bubble does come in the PreCon. I mean, it's not bad. I just don't like it as much as other ones. I mean, we're not in green, so maybe that's what we do. Maybe we do put Wayfarer's Bauble in here. Fellwar Stone. Oh, how could I forget Fellwar Stone? That would have been... That's a decent one. Alright. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we just need 2 more for our ramp. Just need 2 more. Sad Robot, I mean, it's, like I said, Sad Robot's not a terrible one. It's just, I would just wish that it wasn't. I mean, at least with Sad Robot, like when it dies, you also draw a card. So there is that. I mean, not that we're really trying to find a way to kill the Sad Robot necessarily, but.
Oh, I don't know what I was thinking.
You know, though, you know what? We might be able to get away with that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Actually, we'll do Sad Robot, and then we'll also do Core Cartographer.
I can't do anything.
Even though Core Cartographer is 4 as well. Core Cartographer, when it enters the battlefield, it gives us a Plains card that we can just put into play. That's not a bad one. It's honestly not that bad. So you know what? We might be able to deal with that. And because that also gives us a creature that Kamiz can potentially turn into a Conniver or a Double Striker. So I don't think that's bad. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We got our ramp as well as our creature, or our lands, sorry. And then that puts us at 47, so 46 mana sources plus commander so far. Cool. Alright, now let's get into our card draw. Our card draw should be relatively easy because we already have our commander that works with that mechanic of connives.
Come on, you. Jeez.
We need...
That was mean.
What we need to do initially, though, is figure out the best cantrips that we can do. So the best cantrips that we can do are going to be probably...
You are carrying your team.
Opt, because it's just so... Like 1 mana, it's very efficient. Let's do Opt, and let's do Preordain.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm scared.
And then let's do... let's do... Impulse. And Anticipate.
2 damage to hers. Oh. So Squall, you have a silence.
And then
Oh, I guess we're just
I mean, we got Raffine's informant. When it enters the battlefield, it connives. So, and that's kind of a cantrippy creature. But I'd almost rather just us draw a card, especially since we have access to blue. And we're already going to be conniving so much anyway. I'd rather we actually be up one. Or just replace one card for another.
again?
For our cantrips here. It's a hard one. Yeah, we've got that. Let's do...
Well, I mean, I guess
We could probably do Worldly Council.
Oh no. Ah! That's not what I meant to do! Crap, I was kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do...
Crap! Oh my goodness! Wow, alright. Well, I'm just gonna
Getting wrecked.
We're getting wrecked, yeah.
Yep.
They have they have 1 warrior and 2 guardians.
You know what?
Did I say they have 1
If
yet?
we're... Huh?
I don't even know if I curse anymore.
Let's see. You know, I'm wondering, because I put all these cantrips in here, and I'm wondering if it might be better, since we do have a kind of, we're drawing and discarding.
Oh man, I'm dead for a hot minute.
I'm wondering if it's better that we kind of play into that more. And we do... Yeah, I'm wondering if it's better that we play into that a little bit more. No, I don't think I am. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think for the cantrips, they're gonna have the scries, and then let's look at the top, because sometimes you don't want things going into the graveyard, and it's just easier to do it that way. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna do.
Goodness.
Let's do Worldly Council.
Oh, the Phoenix is down. Thank you, Logan.
Yeah, here we go. Worldly Council.
Yeah, I'm not doing great as
And then look at the top 3 and type instant or sorcery or even creature. We'll see. Got Ponder. Ponder's not terrible. Look at the top 3 cards. Put them back and then shuffle library and then draw a card. Put them in any order. Ponder actually might not be a bad one. And it's 1 mana, that's super efficient. Oh yeah, that probably would help, yeah. Color, white, blue, black. Only. There we go.
Yeah, I can't do much about that.
See the truth. Look at the top 3 cards. Put one of them in your hand. Yeah, I don't know.
Man! Oh gosh.
Got Telling Time. Look at the top 3 cards. Put one in the hand, one on top of the library, one on the bottom. Okay.
So much
Um,
damage.
Satoru Umezawa. Whenever you activate a ninjutsu ability, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in order. This ability triggers once each turn. Each creature in your hand has ninjutsu for 4. Huh. I feel like he'd be an awesome commander. I don't know about being a lieutenant. Because like you'd have to, yeah, and especially with our commander, you want the creature that's already being declared as an attacker. So, yeah. Yep, I think we're going to go with Plunder. Plunder's a good one. Yep, for our cantrips, that's not bad. We've got 3 that are at 1 blue mana, and then 3 that are at 2, 1 and a blue. So that's decent. Okay, so now mass draw all cards. Mass draw. We need at least 2 that are like that will like guarantee refill our hand, and 2 that will give us at maybe 3 cards at a minimum. But we've got to be careful about how we do it too.
A warrior took least damage.
So we've got Kamiz is 4 mana.
What is he doing? Yeah.
Can we get a creature that helps us draw that many cards? Let's see. Color, white, blue, black, only colorless.
Good job.
Yep, all cards. Draw cards. Type creature. That would reduce that. There we go. Okay. So let's see. We're probably... It's probably going to be somewhere in the 4, 5, 6 mana range that we're able to do something like that. So funny, Varina Lich Queen kind of does something like that, but she kind of connives.
No, I'm asking why would you say that?
She kind of connives but she cares about the zombies specifically, so it's not exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah. Okay. I meant the expression. So interesting expression. Let me see. I need to play 2 guardians.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Because we draw 3 cards, but then put 2 cards back on top of our library for 5 mana. Yeesh. Whenever it's dealt damage, then we draw that many cards. I mean, it feels like that would be kind of cool, but...
Sometimes you just gotta get it.
No. Asmodeus is so cool. I haven't found a deck that I can really use him in yet, but I really want to use Asmodeus in a deck at some point. Consecrated Sphinx. Oh my goodness, Consecrated Sphinx is a $52 card. Oh my gosh. 56 for that version. Why is that version more expensive? That's a reprint. Weird. That's just wild to me. I have 1 copy of that card. Sphinx. You discard 3 cards with different names, draw 5 cards. I'm not really sure how much of an advantage you're really getting in this particular deck for that. Inspired Sphinx. Draw a card for the number of opponents that you have, which would be okay. Nice, but yeah, Sandstone Oracle feels like it. Yeah, it feels kind of like Sandstone Oracle, but they're both 7 mana. Do we really want to pay 7 mana to do that?
It's really cute. What is it called? It's
Right. I mean, we do. Yeah.
I know, wasn't that very specific? Our gods will have their magic protection increased by 15. Our got pestilence. No, they don't have. No, they have shock.
Maybe we do.
7 decisions.
Thought monitor? No. Thought monitor is not. Okay. Sandstone Oracle. 7 mana just feels like a lot, but I mean, yeah, an Inspired Sphinx is not terrible.
Oh, that one.
But yeah, but like, at least with
No,
Sandstone
it's
Oracle,
not
we're gonna like if an opponent has a lot of cards in their hands, that we refill our hands like pretty easily. But if we've got Inspired Sphinx, and we pay 7 mana to potentially only draw 3 cards, that's kind of feel bad.
Oh, I know, we're almost there.
6 mana, target opponent draws a card, and then you draw 3 cards. That's a little bit better. At least one opponent doesn't, you know, the other opponents don't get as much advantage.
Does bring in the worst of them. Gosh, I want a drink. I should have thought about that. Dang it. I think it's been a while since I played.
See.
You're on vacation? What?
Whenever Emerith deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then if you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference.
Oh.
I feel like that's not bad.
Aww. Yeah, it's a boy.
I feel like this is one we can...
Try not to curse.
It has ward for as long as it's untapped. Has ward for as long as it's untapped. Flying. And when Endeavor deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card. So I like that, but it's not... It's just not like a mass draw spell like the way that I want it to be. I think that's my problem. It's not a mass draw spell the way I want it to be. Let me see. Sphinx.
Is it really? Why are you playing it? So I'm out of mana. And I gotta go back.
So, yeah, this one actually straight up says draw 3 cards, and then but you're still paying 7 mana if you don't kick it, or if you do kick it to keep the 3. Otherwise, you have to discard 3. That's just dumb. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yes. No.
Like the Sandstone Oracle, I can kind of get behind.
That's so cute.
Yeah, Sandstone Oracle, I can kind of get behind. I do like the idea of Storm Surge Kraken. He's got hexproof, and then he has Lieutenant, so he's big. And when he gets blocked, you draw 2 cards. So it's almost like regardless, like...
Is that now? Oh crap, I don't have... Yeah, I'm out of mana, sorry about that.
Yeah, I do actually, I think I'm going to put him... Let's see,
Yours have been doing that itself.
I'm going to put that there. And then, let's see.
Yeah. I hate it when it says you rock when someone dies, and I'm just like, wait, I didn't... Okay, I guess it just wants me to be mean. Like... Why?
Yeah, let's do Sandstone Oracle. Because at the very least, we get to draw equal to the difference, right? And then... let's do.
You said it all. I can attest to that. Okay. Nice.
The Sphinx of Enlightenment. Would that be a good idea?
Woo! Oh no.
Let's change it up just a tad and see what we get here.
Huh?
Let's see. Alright, so we've got.
Interesting. Who doesn't have?
Yeah.
They all have modification.
So we could force the wheel, I guess, if we really wanted to. I don't really want to do that.
Oh no. Okay, I don't think. Oh, they just accepted defeat. She just stopped running. That was funny.
No, it's not.
Crap.
Yeah, you know what? We probably could do the Sphinx of Enlightenment, and then we make a friend for a turn. We still draw 3 cards out of it. They draw a 1 card out of it, so they're not getting too much of advantage. And then we can do the other 2 mass draw spells as like an instant or sorcery, which we know in blue we're not going to have too much of a problem with. So let's see.
Yeah, I don't even know what skin I have, but I didn't even know I had this. I don't know what she was doing, but all good.
Yep. Yeah. Do Rush of Knowledge. Stinging Study.
No worries.
X is the value of our commander. So yeah, no, we don't really want to do that because our commander's 4. Stinging Study works good for commanders that are bigger. It would be worth it if it was 5 or greater, but he's not.
Yeah, there's no way I was gonna survive.
So.
Wait, how does that work?
Recurring Insight. Now that's interesting. That's an interesting one because it's kind of like what they're doing, right? They even got like the hand with the eye. Recurring Insight. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in target opponent's hand. I do kind of like the idea of that.
Well, that's not very nice to say.
Yeah, actually, I do. I like the idea of that recurring insight. So let's do that. And then we'll have the 4 mana, just solid draw 3 cards.
Get out.
Got 3 Plea for Power. Plea for Power is a fun one. But
oh snap. Okay. I was so focused on making sure you
Consuming
survived that I
Tide.
didn't
How was
notice
this?
I was being
Okay, not
not
what I was hoping for. So Concentrate. Concentrate is, yeah, Concentrate's a 25-cent card. We can totally deal with that. That's fine. And it automatically 4 mana draws us 3 cards. No problem. Alright, so there we go. Mass draw, we're decent at. And now we can play around with our 6 cards that are gonna further our strategy here.
I was trying to gone out so they.
So one of them being Raffine, the Scheming Seer.
What the heck?
I think that's
I
decent.
don't even know what's happening. So much movement.
Then we'll do Storm Surge Kraken. I think that's a decent one. And I think maybe we do 3 that are they're not like necessarily like connivers, even though the Raffine is a conniver, obviously. But we'll do those that are connivers, and then we'll do 3 that.
We got one.
Let me see.
I wish it were that easy. Oh heck, Okay. Hickory. Duck.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. We could have Obscure Confluence. Well, actually, Obscure Confluence can go in our recursion slot, so actually that wouldn't be a bad idea. So we'll put it as a recursion card.
Jeez.
And then that way,
dumb.
and then it just has the versatility of, those modes. So let's see.
I'm not entirely sure as to what happened.
Mask of the Schemer. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, it connects X, where X is the amount of damage that it dealt. So that's actually pretty decent. I think. Yeah, let's do that for Mask of the Schemer. That'll be one of our. Yep, and then what we need is
Oh my.
we need creatures that when they deal combat damage they just draw a card.
I mean, the art is squishy, so it makes sense, but at the same time, dang. Yep. Something else?
And then color, more than likely it'll be blue.
Alright.
But we want to get them for cheap mana. Jeskai, yep, whenever they come, yep.
Can you sit them?
Whenever. Okay. Mischievous Catgeist. Okay, here we go.
Why do I do this to myself? I get greedy.
So, I just wanted to draw. Was dealt by a warrior, you draw a card and lose 1 life, which is basically what that is right there. So let's see here. No.
Good job, Logan.
Interesting. So oh, yep. That's a Planeswalker.
Retreat. Okay. What the? Oof. Mascotty was hard targeting. But I blame her. Do they have
So at 3 mana, it seems like we get the ones that do that. feel like Anawan would be kind of cool. Especially since he is like a rogue lord. And he's pretty decent at his own commander deck. But like you really want to go like heavy rogue tribal into that one. I don't really want to go like rogue tribal. I mean, we're already not doing rogue tribal, so I'm not trying to do that. But if we can get, because we've already got those guys that draw.
Oh, he's back already? What? That's cheating. Yeah, just keep running. Survive, my friends. Nice. Oh.
Okay. So Daring Saboteur is actually kind of cool, but we draw a card, then discard a card. Because he's 2 mana. Apparently if they're 2 mana, you draw a card and discard a card, which we already do a whole bunch of. I want us to just have an advantage.
Hey, look guys, if we don't die, good. Look how much we were at 24 versus 13.
Yeah, deals combat damage to player, draw a card. Okay, so yeah. Yep, just
So what's the plan?
Alright, so it looks like what we're gonna do, we'll just deal with Scroll Thief. And then we'll deal with
way to go, Rusty, you just gave me one.
Jason Thief with the prowess. And then, hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Let me see. We've got Scroll Thief, Jason Thief. And I think we need one more.
Oh, man.
Now, these do great with our commander for drawing cards, but we do want to have...
It's all your fault.
I want to make sure we got other ways to draw cards, to just innately draw cards here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a... Let's see, what is it? Oh, what is it called? It's a siege card.
Good night.
It's a blue siege. It's the blue siege.
Monastery
siege. Here we go.
When are y'all going to Florida?
There you go.
Nice. For how long?
Okay. Cool. So now we've got our card draw pretty much set up here. We got, let's see, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
That's gonna be exciting.
10, 11, 12,
Okay.
13,
Oh, that'll be nice.
14, 15, 16, and then our commander makes it basically 17. Because it allows us to give that ability to another. So we're going to be churning through our deck here. And then, okay, so now we need to go to our removal stuffs. And we already have some decent removal stuffs. So let's go here. We're going to do Path to Exile, right? And then we're going to do Swords to Plowshares. Yep, Swords to Plowshares, easy. And then let's go back down here because we have the lethal scheme, right, with the Convoke. So that's going to help.
Look, you think you're getting away, but you're not. And this one Hades was a guardian.
And then We gotta do a remove. So we only have really white that removes, like destroys target artifact or enchantment. So let's see, target
My phone is at 3%.
artifact. Type needs to be an instant
Actually, we're to the bathroom too. I'll be right back.
or a creature. Oh my goodness, if I could spell it correctly here. There we go, finally. Enchantment. Alright, and then type a creature or. And then color blue. Ooh, there we go. Cool. Alright, so let's see here. See what we got. Obviously, we're going to do disenchant because that's efficient, it's easy, and it's 25 cents. Fracture. I think we found our answer. So we've got fracture. And we got forsake the worldly, which gives us access to exile. Or we can cycle it away, should we need to. Now, board wipes. Board wipes are going to be hard. Because we want to make it as one-sided as possible. But perhaps they won't be that hard. The reason why I say that is because we do have... Connive does do a thing where it puts +1/+1 counters on the creatures when they connive, right? So we are going to dip a little bit into the +1/+1 counter strategy. And when we do that, we do have a way that comes up. And actually, it's actually a board wipe that came up in the New Capenna Commander card. Or cards set. New Capenna Commander. And we've got where is it? Damning Verdict. Perfect. So 3 white, and we gotta destroy all creatures with no counters on them. Since we're putting +1/+1 counters on our stuff, when they connive, this is perfect. And it gives us a way to protect our own stuff and blow up everybody else's stuff.
Is she free to play right now?
Then what we can do... So I like Fell the Mighty. Fell the Mighty is great in some decks.
Get us a relic. Herbs. I'm sorry I didn't get a relic.
Tevet, Seller of Secrets, huh? I want to do another deck of this guy. I think that would be super fun to have, like a political deck with this guy. But I'm not going to build him anytime soon. But he would be super fun to play. Okay, let's see. What? Planar Outburst. I mean, it's a board wipe. It's decent. All right, so let's see. What would be another good board wipe? I mean, we could do a Cyclonic Rift, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be outside of the price range that I'm trying to do for this build. Oh, yeah, $40 card. Yeah, we're not putting Cyclonic Rift in here. We're going to do something else. What can we do?
Today, behind you. Gotta love it when you think you're level 20, and then you're like, oh no, I'm not. Yeah.
What do I want to do, man, for my board wipes? I could do Toxic Deluge. It's not a bad one. Toxic Deluge is not a bad one. Oh, but it's a $40 card. Well, that one's 20. That version is 20. Still, that's a lot. That's a lot. Maybe we don't do Toxic Deluge. I don't know, man. I don't know what. what board wipe that we want to do. What other board wipes would be good? Let me see. Let's do that only. And let's do the same thing. Set new Capenna Commander, and then let's do type instant sorcery or creature, and then cost, and we'll do 4, 5, 6, 7. Because typically that's the range that your board wipes fall in, is 4 and up. I do think that he would be great, actually, in here, because then your creatures enter with a +1/+1 counter on them.
No, there goes the ward.
So that would be... Let's put that in the sideboard. That one's not bad.
Oh, it's an octopus! Oh, so cute.
Make an example. Each opponent separates the creatures they control into 2 piles. For each creature their opponents control, and sacrifices chosen pile. It's okay.
There she is.
I don't think it's a board wipe,
She is.
but it's okay. Let me see. It escapes with... When it deals combat damage to your player, you may cast an instant. Interesting. Okay.
They killed it, I think.
Oh yeah, Form of Storms. Form of Storms seems like it would be a fun card, but not for this deck because it cares on the type of counter, not just the fact that it has +1/+1 counters on it. Talrand's Invocation. Okay. Aerial Extortionist. This one's a great mono white card, but I don't know if we're going to need to do that here. When it enters the battlefield, deals combat damage, exile. Its owner may cast it whenever another player casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand draw card. This is fantastic for a mono white deck. Because we can recast our own stuff and gain advantage. Oh, that's such a brilliant card. That card's got to go into my mono white. For sure. Alright, so Damning Verdict. We already went over Damning Verdict, and that's for sure that's going to be in the deck. What's this? Flawless Forgery? Casualty 3. Okay.
That's not very Canadian-like. Alright, I do
I don't think... No, I don't think that we need that. Exile each creature with power. The greatest cards. Ooh, okay. With power greater than. Exile each creature with power less than the number of cards in your hand. Now that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one.
Hello.
Nightmare Unmaking. That we might consider that one. Writ of Return. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I do like Writ of Return. Especially since we're a deck that's attacking a lot of the time anyway. That's decent. Hex. Hex is kind of cool, but you have to have the 6 target creatures available to you. River's Rebuke. That's another one that seems pretty cool. But it's to target player. Which it is great in that casualty deck, but not this one. Deathbringer Regent. Enters the battlefield, you cast it from your hand. If there are 5 or more other creatures on the battlefield, destroy all other creatures. Okay. I'm just trying to think of like how do I make that one-sided. I mean, given like it is already one-sided in that you're the one that's going to be having the Deathbringer Regent, right? Xander's Pact. No. Excuse me, I just had a board wipe. Noxious Gearhulk. No.
Sorry.
So I think we honestly.
Oh crap. Are you?
Okay, I think honestly we go with Nightmare Unmaking And we'll go with the Deathbringer Regent.
I don't know.
There we've got 3
Maybe
board
it's
wipes. That's
legendary,
decent.
actually.
That's decent. And then the Deathbringer Regent, even though, like, we destroy all other creatures, like...
What?
Yeah, even though we destroy all other creatures, we'll be the one left with the dragon, and then the dragon can still beat face, so... I think that's pretty decent. Okay. So now we gotta go into protection, which means we're gonna need at least 2 or 3 counter spells. We're in blue. That's not difficult for us to do.
Wait, what?
So let's see.
Okay, so you have to tell me the story.
He's a 2/4. Decent one. A decent counterspell for this deck would be, well, we can always go with Arcane Denial. Arcane Denial is okay. It's not like the best counterspell, but it is an easy counterspell. It's a cheap one, and it's got pretty awesome artwork. So yeah, this particular version, that artwork's pretty cool. So that's an easy one. We can do Arcane Denial, and technically it replaces itself because you do draw another card at the beginning of next turn's upkeep. So yeah, we'll do that. Then what counterspell fits this one?
That is insane. There's a town in Australia where they had a serial killer that he basically stored bodies in barrels. Like, that's so...
Let's see, type. Okay, cool. So we've got... Now we could do OG Counterspell, but I don't like doing OG Counterspell in decks that have 3 or more colors. And it's just a personal preference.
And also the evidence. Except that this dude basically hid the barrels in
Black only.
his farm, so...
Delay is a great counterspell in
So,
like CDH, but not so much for this deck. In a focus, in decks that stay around this focused area, you want hard counterspells that are relatively efficient. Dovin's Veto is pretty hard counterspell. That will counter a non-creature spell. That's decent. Evasive action wouldn't be terrible, but in this case, like, you might as well just go with a mana leak, because that way you have to pay 3 more every time rather as to just some of the time with an evasive action. Like in a 4-color deck and a 5-color deck, evasive action is great, but in a 3-color deck you might as well just go with the mana leak, which is right here. Mana leak is not bad. We might end up using Mana Leak if we don't find another counterspell that we like a little bit better. And I like spells that allow me to, or counterspells that actually hard counter any spell, because that way it makes the counterspell a little bit more versatile, given that it's a much smaller pool of counterspells. But let's see, Unified Will. If we control more creatures than the spell's control, see, that's not guaranteed every time. Like, if we were in a green deck, that would be almost guaranteed, but we're not.
Just drop it.
Thassa's Rebuff.
No, it was a good concern.
That's okay, too.
Stop beating
But we don't know what our potential... devotion to blue is going to be, so I don't really want to do that either. Spell Rupture, not great in this one, because, like, Spell Rupture is great for if we're going off of, the greatest power among creatures we control, and typically with this one, I'm trying to go off of my commander. So if I'm looking at this one, it just says the controller pays 2, and that's pretty easy for our opponents to do, so I'm trying to avoid that.
Fiddlesticks, yeah. Fruit? Nothing has the same, like, emphasis. I don't know.
Huh.
Picture.
Drown in the lock. Number, okay.
Freaking
Drown in the
out.
lock seems kind of cool, but you would want to use that in a deck that that does a lot of milling, I feel like, and that's not really what we're doing. See, Disruption Protocol, yeah.
What?
Disruption Protocol, yeah, I mean, I might as well just pay OG Counterspell if I'm going to do that. Lofty Denial. Lofty Denial, yeah, we don't really have a ton of flyers, and our commander isn't a flyer, so that's also... Now, lose focus would be terrible. Because if we know that our opponent doesn't have 2 mana, then we're good. And then if we do know that our opponent has enough, then we can just pay the 1 extra blue
So,
and then replicate, which means that it's going to be 4.
It's like a little,
so lose focus might be
glass
our option there.
With, flower
there we go. So now we got 2 counter spells. And then we can do...
Yeah. We haven't gotten anything.
We can either do Mana Leak as a 3rd counter spell.
Do anything for her, so I don't really know what to do. Any ideas?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Mana Leak as a 3rd counter spell. And then...
Pestilence. Is that one we're picking on?
And then let's go with Swiftfoot Booties. Right, Swiftfoot Booties is never a bad idea. So, ooh, what's that one? Oh, that's kind of cool. Alright, so Swiftfoot Booties.
I think we were all
and
there
then,
when it got taken. Well, now I don't even know.
Okay.
No, I'm not sure. Oh, crap.
Then...
Yes. Which honestly benefited them.
Yeah, let's just... we could do... Also, Lightning Greaves, we could do that too.
On, we should be fine.
And that could make it pretty annoying for our opponents to deal with our commander, at the very least.
Yeah.
Or whatever our big bad's going to be.
I get the reason why they do that, but it's dumb.
The Swiftfoot Booties, we'd have to be careful because we'd have to put it on our commander to protect the commander, and then our commander, whenever we attacked, we would just have to make sure that it targeted 2 different creatures because of the Shroud part. Because Hexproof...
How did he get you?
Your opponents can't target, but with Shroud, nobody can target it. So we gotta be careful about that.
I just realized I'm being a really bad tank. I'm just going in to do damage, and I'm like, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to be getting kills. I'm sorry.
You're too used to being an assassin.
Dang it.
Let's see, Lightning Greaves.
Gosh, you're level 19?
Yeah, the fam's playing Smite right now, so that's why.
Is that very necessary to be level 19 necessarily? Like...
Here we go. I mess that up all the time. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, so we've got the Greaves, and we've got the Greaves, we've got the Booties, and then we've got 3 counter spells. That's pretty decent for our protection package. So let's do a recursion reanimation package. We've already got an idea of what we want to do there, because we've got the Writ of Return. Oh, Change of Plans. I almost forgot about Change of Plans. And this could be a 6th protection card, and it has a connive. So, and then they phase out.
Sorry, I didn't.
So yeah, that's decent. We're gonna do that.
Sorry about that.
And then you using Mom? You using Mom
Yeah, why not?
or MOM? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by Mom or MOM, to be honest.
No, do not. You guys are doing so much damage.
Okay, so we said that Obscure Confluence is going to be in our recursion. Mother of Runes. Oh, no, I'm actually not using Mother of Runes. Mainly because, like, Mother of Runes is good for, I guess, blocking during combat. But we're actually, for an Esper deck, or Obscura, I guess now, for an Esper deck, we're pretty aggressive. Actually, we want to be getting in with our unblockable creatures. Yeah, she can sneak. Yeah, it's true. She can sneak stuff past. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Wouldn't be a bad idea.
I wanna ult him.
But if we put in the Mother of Runes, I kind of want to take out the Greaves. That might be what we do. We'll take out the Greaves, and we'll put in the Mother of Runes. Mother of Runes.
How? Oh.
See, this one doesn't really scream Mom to me, whereas that one, that's fantastic. I mean, she already looks like Martha Stewart, so. Not that Martha Stewart's a great model for Mother, but whatever. Yeah, all kinds of different versions here. Okay.
Oh, sorry for the chaos.
Alright. There we go. Gains protection of the color choice until end of turn. Actually, that actually would... I'm glad you brought that up, because honestly, that would be pretty good for whatever creature we chose to go to be our double striker.
Jeez.
And then Mother of Runes can give the double striker protection from whatever as it goes into strike. So that'd be actually pretty decent. A little combat trick there. Okay. Change of plans, we already have that in there, so we need to take that out. Obscure Confluence, we said that we're going to put that as a recursion piece. We're also going to be putting in Writ of Return, because that's Cypher. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We're not really, yeah, I agree. Great value for a 1-drop. We're not really a full-on reanimation deck, so I don't want to go too heavy into reanimate. But I do want to have a decent amount of stuff that allows us to have access to our graveyard. So, yeah, I think Writ of Return does a good job of that. I think that the Obscura Confluence is going to do a good job with that. Let's see, what else? Right, we have Body Launderer, right? That's right. Yeah, return another non-rogue creature with power... with greater than... okay. With yeah. So, actually, ooh. So... oh, so that's when Body Launderer dies. Specifically when Body Launderer dies, so we have to be mindful of that too.
I'm gonna go check the bull.
Hmm.
Or not.
Hmm.
Well, I'm still gonna wound it.
We want to be able to...
Yeah.
we've got two... Alright, one gets creatures directly to the battlefield, that's great. The other one gets us creatures into our hand, right? We could potentially choose up to 3. Yeah, is the Obscura Charm any good? The Obscura Charm is okay.
Nice.
I'm not a big fan of charms anyway, but let's take a look. And I know I covered it in the... I covered it in the spoiler videos that I did last week, or the week before. Was it last week or the week before? Might have been the week before.
Go ahead.
Let's see, Obscura Charm. Yeah, choose one, return target multicolor permanent with mana 3 value or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That's okay.
Okay, backing up.
Counter target instant or sorcery spell. Yeah, again, that's okay.
We almost
and then
had it.
destroy target
I
creature or
forgot it
planeswalker
already
with
is.
mana value 3 or less. So again,
It's gonna
like,
be the damage buff.
it's versatile. I like that it's versatile, but it's like it doesn't quite do for all of the things that it can do. It doesn't do any one of them particularly well. You know, like there's just we have other spells
Okay, so we know
that
for
seem to do the job just a little bit better, and we might as well just stick to that because like for example with the destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. Well, I mean lethal scheme
Okay.
does that, and and it has
Did you
convoke,
just
so we can
realize
tap
that?
down our creatures to tap for mana on top of the 2 black
Nice.
that we have, and then each creature that convokes lethal scheme connives.
Oh.
And even so, with that, with the convoke, it's 1 or mana of that creature's color. So we could actually do potentially 4 creatures if we have it, and not tap
So,
into any of our actual mana, and we could potentially connive 4 times. Like, yeah, it's just like that's the thing about charms is that like the charms they're cool. They I like that they're versatile, and it's just same thing with the older versions too. Like they're okay. It's just they don't do any of the things that they do particularly well. Like you might as well go with a card that's very efficient at what it does, and it goes with the theme of what your deck is already doing.
Whatever. Just get the.
Um,
Oh heck.
Let's see. Yeah, true. And the 3 cost kind of
Does
gimps it.
the
Yeah, I
magic
mean, well, and you got to
shot?
understand too. Like they're trying to, particularly with this set, is that they're trying to really sell like the whole like family thing, and they're trying to like the for the crime families each of the colors. So they had to make it that way for the 3 colors, so that way you know 1 charm goes with 1 crime family, as it were. So but I mean, even if you were to go back to the older sets like the Shards of Alara, they have the same thing, like the Naya charm and the Grixis charm and all those. Like, it's the same thing. Like they are all 1 of each color of mana, and they all did 3 different things on them, but they didn't do any one of them particularly well. So, I'm sure it's better in something like maybe standard or draft, but definitely not in Commander, in my opinion. Um,
Well, that's quite rude, Vulcan.
okay. Let's see. We want to be able to, right? Because all of our artifacts are really ramp. As our artifacts are ramp and our card a little bit of card draw
Yeah, what?
going on here.
I just
So
don't really need the damage buff anymore.
we've really only got 13 creatures. I want a creature that brings other creatures back from the graveyard. That's what I want. I feel like that's what and I want it to do it when it attacks. Is there something that's like that? I wonder. Um,
Huh? He's distracting? Is he trying to take the fire giant? What is he doing?
or maybe if I spelled attacks correctly, that would help. All right, color white, blue, black, colorless only. When it attacks, return. Eternal Taskmaster. Eternal Taskmaster technically does it. It enters the battlefield tapped though, which is kind of annoying.
No,
When it attacks, you can pay 2 and a black. If you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's kind of doing what we want it to do. Hmm.
Oh. I'm not dead. That's
Hmm.
nice. I'm gonna go back though.
Imperial
Oh,
Recovery Unit. No, we're not a vehicle deck. Skymark Rock. When it attacks, you may return defending creature. Okay, so that's not what we want either. Bishop of Rebirth.
You back up, yeah.
Oh, this is unique cards. Yep, so Bishop of Rebirth. Bishop of Rebirth actually does something that we do want. Because this can get us back all of our little infect creatures directly back to the battlefield, potentially. I do like that.
Yeah, he ulted like right where I was running towards, so. Oopsies.
Yep, I do like that. I think that's what we want to do. We'll have Bishop of Rebirth in there.
I like that.
We have Sun Titan. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you can get a permanent. So it's actually Sun Titan's like a little bit better version of Bishop of Rebirth. We might do both.
Nice.
And see what else we get here. If there's anything better. When it attacks, you can return target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Okay, so in that case,
Yeah.
and it has Extort, which is interesting. So in that case, maybe what we do is we take out the Bishop of Rebirth and we put Treasury Thrall, because Treasury Thrall and Sun Titan can get us.
You're lagging real bad.
Because Treasury Thrall can get us just about anything. Sun Titan gets us mainly our small infecty creatures or our small value creatures that we want anyway. So yeah, maybe we do that. And that's 38 cents. It's not bad.
Fire giants? Or no? It's a little...
Attack the fire giant. Sorry, my wife is playing Smite, so sometimes I'll just randomly say Smite phrases. See, Mysterious Limousine, does this... Okay. So whenever a Mysterious Limousine enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to one target creature until it leaves the battlefield. If a creature is put into exile this way, return each other card exiled this way.
No, it is not.
This feels like a value piece that you could do in mono white, but it's not particularly what we want in our deck right now. Or a commander you control attacks alone, return target artifact. Okay, so this is not really what we're trying to do. It's a cool card, not what we're trying to do. So let's see, we've got Treasury Thrall, we've got Sun Titan, then we've got the Obscura Confluence, which is great. And then we've got the Cipher card, right? Writ of Return. So we've got 4 things. Four isn't bad. I like 5. 4 isn't bad, but I like 5. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to push him back.
Let's see.
I mean, it would have been nice to kill him.
I mean,
but
Eternal Taskmaster's okay. It's just not. Eternal Taskmaster's okay. It's just not because it. We wouldn't think if it got us any creature, any card from our graveyard, but it isn't. Doesn't do that, so it's. Meh. What is this one? Return target creature. When it attacks, you can return target creature's understanding its power is less than. Okay. It's not really a recursion spell.
He's behind you. Just
Ever. Okay.
Oh, crap. Survive. Sorry for the chaos, but survive.
Maybe what we do is.
No.
Maybe what we do is a card that we can put up to a certain amount back into our library.
Yeah, it's a Vulcan.
I don't think it would be a bad idea. Let's see. Alright, so let's see.
It's me whenever.
Yeah, there's actually there's a 1-mana sorcery that does that, but it mills 4 cards.
I think where you just...
Well, but that's a target player's library, so it doesn't have to be our own. So yeah, we could be super rude to somebody, and then do that. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, let's try that. It's a replicate card. Replicate. Yeah, Stream of Thought. There we go. Yeah, target player presents the top 4 cards of their library into the graveyard, then you shuffle up to 4 cards from your graveyard into the library. That's perfect. Boom.
I'm trying.
There.
There's
That way we
minions.
can reuse stuff. but we're not
No,
putting
I
our
didn't.
entire graveyard back into our library
Well,
because we kind of want to make sure that we're using our graveyard to pull our stuff back.
Now that
Okay,
we're all gone, yeah.
now, how do we want to win?
I can't
Well,
believe
I
we got
think
that far.
we
Like, it
figured
just
out our
needs one
answer
more hit.
towards the beginning. We want to win by smacking our opponents with Infect. And we need to make our creatures bigger. So we need to make sure that we get a decent... We have 83 cards in the main deck,
yeah,
which is fine. We have plenty of room to play around with adding +1/+1 counters to our creatures, and then making sure that we have cheap Infect creatures to cast.
Oh, heck.
So, let's do that again.
That was rough. Yeah, that was rough.
Let's do... Okay, so we're going to do... I like Denry Kiln, because Denry Kiln can give us +1/+1 counters, first strike or vigilance counters. And then any creature that comes in after that just gets this, yeah, it gets more. So they'll just automatically get bigger. So let's do that. We'll do Tenri Kiln, Editor-in-Chief, because he's in our colors.
Alrighty then.
And then
Thank you guys for playing too.
We need another way. We need Cathar's Crusade is a good one. Let's see how much Cathar's Crusade costs. Cathar's Crusade. It's been reprinted a few times. $7 card. That's not bad, actually. This is one that we can work with for our budget here. So let's do that. Then let's see. We want to have another. There's a cleric. Cleric that at the beginning of combat we put +1/+1 counters on each creature we control. Oopsies, maybe spell that correctly. That would help. And I believe it costs 5 mana to cast. Cleric, counter. Yeah, Victory's Envoy. Boom. There you go. And then we have Luminarch Aspirant too, which wouldn't be bad. But we also have Sheoldine of Radiance. I feel like Sheoldine of Radiance might be better on each. Well, it's there's each creature that entered the battlefield this turn, so it's not like it builds. Frontline Medic. Nah, it's not what we're trying to do. So we've got, let's see, we've got Cathar's Crusade. Oh, you know what? There's another Siege card. Yep, here we go. Citadel Siege. That's perfect. We put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature we control. Boom. So yeah, we can put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature we control. Then we've got that. Yeah, so Denry Kiln. Technically, Kamiz does with the Knives. We've got other stuff that connives as well. Let's see, we got go over here. Yeah, we've got Citadel Siege and Cathar's Crusade, and then we of course have like stuff like Mask of the Schemer and Victory's Envoy. Denry Kiln. Okay, so we've got I think at least 5 cards that put +1/+1 counters on our stuff potentially. That doesn't have to do with conniving, which is great because that means our stuff's going to continue to get pumped. Then we're trying to smash into our enemies with infect. With small infect stuff. So let's just see. Let's see what other... Maybe I missed one. I'm going to type, we're in a creature. Right, so we've got Vector Asp. So yeah, okay, we've got... Yeah, we've got Blighted Agent, which is already unblockable. Flincermite. Infect Lifelink. Ironclaw Mirror. It's just infect. No, doesn't really suit our strategy on this one. Necropede, cool. Plague Stinger, great. Raffine's Informant, not so great. Body Launderer. Body Launderer. Yeah, no. Then we got Core Prowler. Got, yeah, I'm gonna take out Security Bypass. Viral Drake I do like because it's a mana sink for proliferation. And then, that's an interesting thing there too. What if we, okay, I'm gonna take out you two, and I'm gonna put in, yeah, we got Whispering Spectre, which a flying infect. You may sacrifice it. Okay, so we're not gonna, yeah, we may sacrifice it. We don't have to. We may sacrifice. Priests of Norn. Vigilance and Infect. That's not bad. Septic Rats. Depending player is poisoned, it gets another buff to it. That's kind of cool. Okay. I don't want to go too far here. Icarats. Each player gets a poison counter when it enters. Contagious Nim. And that's just 3 mana. It doesn't have anything else special about it. We do Lost Leonin, because it's, again, 2 mana. Alright, so now... I got Whispering Spectre. Do Icarats. Could do Icarats. Because at least it's not just Infect, it does something else. Yeah, that one just has Infect. This one has at least Infected Vigilance. This one, when it attacks it and the defending player is poisoned, it actually does get buffed. So that one's not bad either. And then after that we go up to 4. Okay, so now we're up to, what, 97? So now maybe with the last 3 cards we want to deal with stuff that proliferates. Proliferate. Boom. Grateful Apparition. And it attacks, which is great. Thrumming Bird. And Flux Channeler. Flux Channeler is okay, but we're not, like, we're already up to about, like a third of our deck is going to be creatures, so we don't really want that. Well, actually, no, that's not bad. Because, yeah, if only a third of our deck is creatures, then the other third is non-creature. You know? Throne of Geth. Sacrifice an artifact, proliferate. Okay. No. Guild Pact. Informant whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Or Planeswalker proliferate. Okay, there we go. Guild Pact Informant. It's just not 2 mana as opposed to the Grateful Apparition and the Thrumming Bird were. Inexorable Tide. Inexorable Tide is a great card. Actually, this might be what we do. Because whenever we cast a spell, we proliferate no matter what. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Cool. Alright. So, if you're not familiar with what Infect does, Infect is... Here, I'm actually going to go to it. There you go. So, Infect, the creature deals damage in the form of -1/-1 counters to creatures, and to players it deals it in the form of poison counters. And for poison counters, if a player gets to 10 poison counters, then that player is dead. Which is also why that typically creatures that have Infect on them are a little bit more expensive to cast, and their power and toughness is super low. So I think this is the perfect deck to make our small infecting creatures become bigger over time, and they also give us additional value and churn through our deck to eventually get to our other pieces that we need. Yeah, Inexorable Tide, $7. Okay, cool. So yeah, we are gonna... Yeah, I think this is a pretty decent, at least for version 1, this is a pretty decent start here. So I'm gonna save this. Let me see, save. And I'm gonna save it, because I did say that I was gonna make this one for my dad, so I'm gonna save it under his name. And then this is a 3-color deck. It's white, blue, black. And this is Kamiz. And I always have to come up with some other goofy name for my decks other than what they're actually given. So, let's see. Kamiz. Let's see, we'll say the Cabal of New Phyrexia or something crazy like that. Oopsies, maybe spell it correctly. There you go, Cabal of New Phyrexia. Boom, save. Alright, cool. Now I'm going to exit out of this real quick so you get to see my wallpaper for a moment. And then I'm going to reopen it. And now, let's take a look at the stats. Okay, so majority of our deck is blue, it's blue, but not by a whole lot. So we're actually pretty even, all things considered. We're less black than we are blue, considerably, but yeah, we got tiers from blue to white to black. So let's go back to our build and see what we got for our basics. Yeah, so for our basics, we've got 5 islands, 4 plains, and 4 swamps. And honestly, we could probably get away with 3 swamps. And let's do the land that proliferates, just to have another utility land. And yeah, it's a $5 land. No, that version is $2. Yep, because it was just reprinted. That's right. So let's try to do that. That way we have another utility land in here, other than our man lands that we've got. And then let's now take a look at the price of this deck. So, yep, after everything's said and done, if we were to buy each of these cards individually, not including the bulk So that's like cards that are less than $1. It's going to come out to 207.44 according to TCG Player Mid. So it's not terrible. Not terrible, especially if you've already bought the pre-con. All you got to do is swap a whole bunch of these cards out, and then finding some of these other cards is actually relatively easy. So, yeah, I think we did pretty decent. Yeah, going back to the price, the most expensive cards that we got are, the Watery Grave, Talisman of Progress, Godless Shrine, Hollow Fountain. These are cards I expected to be the most expensive because anytime that you have the lands that that the shock lands in particular that enter untapped as long as you can pay the life for it, they're typically the most expensive cards in the deck that at a power level that's like this. Um, yeah, and then we got Stormscourge Kraken. Stormscourge Kraken, I'm actually kind of surprised that he's a $12 card. Um, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised because he is pretty valuable for a lieutenant. And then Sword of Hearth and Home and Chromatic Lantern. Chromatic Lantern's always $10. I'm pretty sure they're going to reprint that just always at the time that it's going to stay consistently at $10. Sword of the Animus, I wish that they would reprint more, get it back down to 5. Raffine's Tower, yeah, that's because that's the land, that's $10. Yep. So that's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. And this deck, I actually resisted my normal urge to do Johnny Combo player, but there are definitely some strong synergies in this deck, and I think this deck will be able to churn through a lot. Yeah. All right, so I think that's going to be it for our live deck build upgrade of Kamiz. So I do really appreciate you guys coming and watching the show. I really do enjoy talking about this and doing live deck builds. This is my favorite thing to do. I like working with concepts and then eventually playing them at some point. Now, this particular deck I'm not going to be buying, I think, anytime soon. Probably give it a couple of months before I put this whole thing together and then try it out for myself. Give it a few play tests, but for now, super fun. I'm super glad that you guys came by and witnessed the deck build. Tomorrow, the plan is 9 again, and we're actually going to be doing a pre-con showdown. So my wife and I are going to be on with New Capenna pre-cons, and we're going to have a couple buddy of ours with some Ikoria decks that are, if they're not exactly the precons, they're low power enough that they're still precon level to play against. So that way it's a somewhat even play, somewhat even playing field there. So all right, I super appreciate you guys coming out. If you have not followed me before, please make sure that you follow me here on Twitch. I also put my videos over onto YouTube, usually right after they're done. Usually I give it like a couple of days and it'll get up onto YouTube because I do have to make the thumbnail before it goes up there. And then also I put stuff out on Twitter, on Facebook, and I've also decided to extend out to Instagram because I might actually be stopping my Facebook page and just going straight just to Instagram and Twitter because they're a little bit easier to use just naturally. Just you can take pictures a lot easier. I mean, Instagram, that's kind of what it's meant for. And Facebook, like, it's kind of hard with the way that it's like set up to really get to reach out to people because like it has this like paywall kind of thing where if you want to boost your posts and reach more people, you got to pay money to do it, and it's just like I don't have the monies to just spend on ads pretty much right now, so I'm just trying to get a nice core group of followers, and then hopefully you guys like the content and we can spread it out to other people that will hopefully like this content too. All right, super appreciate again coming out and seeing the deck build. Tune in for tomorrow's game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we will see y'all later. Good night.